A very good morning to all my dear students. I hope you all are ready for your English class. In the previous class, we completed chapter 12, Letter from Father. And today we are going to start new chapter again from literature, chapter number 14, Oliver finds happiness. So I'm giving you 2 minutes. Get ready with your English literature book and open chapter 14. So I hope you all are ready. So let's start. Oliver finds happiness. As the title indicate, this is the story about Oliver. Who was Oliver? Oliver was a young child who was an orphan and ran away from the orphanage because he was very badly treated there by the people. So he ran away from the orphanage and landed into the den of thieves, where he was in the hand of wrong people. I mean to say, he was in the hand of thieves who forcefully wanted him to steal something for them. So Oliver, with his companions, went to a house for stealing, and there they were caught by the servants. Oliver was injured and his companions they ran away. But Oliver, due to his injury, was not able to run. So the servants they took Oliver into the house, and let's see what happened after that in the story. So this is the extract. This chapter is an extract from the famous novel Oliver Twist. So Oliver Twist was the famous novel, and this is an extract from that particular novel. So let's start. As I had given you the introduction about Oliver, that Oliver was an orphan. He ran away from the orphanage and landed into the company of wrong people, and they were the thieves who forcefully wanted Oliver to join in robbery. And when they planned to rob a house, they were caught by the servants, and servants took injured Oliver into the house. And after that, we are going to study about it. Now, as the Oliver was injured, the servants and the owner of the house were very kind. They took care of Oliver very nicely. Now, the main characters in the story are Miss Rose and Mr. Maylie. Miss Rose was a young lady and Miss Maylie is an old lady. Both the ladies they stayed in the house, and Giles is the servant. Giles is the name of servant, and Brittle is also the name of a servant. Okay, so these are the main characters, and one more character is there, Dr. Losburn. Dr. Losburn is the family doctor of that particular family that lived in that house. Okay, so let's start the chapter. Now we were studying after the Oliver got injured and the servants took him into the house. Oh please, Dr. Losburn, will you come upstairs and look at the poor creature? Here the poor creature is Oliver. Creature is a living thing. So here we are talking about Oliver. Rose begged. Of course, said the doctor. Will you show me the way, Giles? Giles led the doctor to his patient. So, when the servants took Oliver into the house, the owner of the house were two ladies, Miss Rose and Mrs. Melly. Miss Rose and Mrs. Melly, they were very kind ladies. They called their family doctor, Dr. Losburn, and they requested him to please look at the patient who was lying upstairs. And that patient was Oliver. Okay. The doctor was absent for a long time. A large flat box was fetched out of his carriage. The bell in the bedroom was rung again and again. The servants went hurrying up and down the stairs. At last, the doctor came to the dining room to speak to the ladies. "This is an extraordinary thing, Mrs. Maylie," he asked. "He is not in danger, I hope," the old lady said. So when the doctor examined Oliver, he returned back to the dining room, and the ladies wanted to know about the patient. And the doctor said, "This is an extraordinary thing." Listening to him, Mrs. Maylie said, "I hope that boy who is laying upstairs is not in danger." Doctor said, "No, he will be well again in a week or two." The doctor informed them, and then he asked about them. "Have you seen this thief?" The lady said, "No." "Hasn't Giles told you anything about him?" "No." "Would you like to see him if I come with you?" "Yes, I would like to. And I would like Rose also to come as well, if she will." The doctor took the ladies upstairs to Giles's room. He pointed towards the bed. "There lies the wicked thief," he said. Now, when the doctor came back to the dining room to the ladies and informed them about his well-being, about the well-being of the patient lying upstairs, he asked the ladies that, "Do you know about this thief? Have you seen this thief?" Ladies said no. And then the second question asked by Dr. Losburn was that, "Hasn't Giles told you anything about him?" They said no. So then doctor said, "Would you like to see that patient if I come with you?" The ladies said, "Yes, we want to see him." And they went to upstairs to see the patient. And then doctor pointed out towards the patient and said, "Here is the wicked thief." As Oliver joined the gang of thieves, he was considered as a thief. The two ladies looked. To their astonishment, they saw a child there, fast asleep. So the ladies were shocked to see the patient, as the patient was a child and he was so young and he was looking so innocent. And that is the reason the two ladies, they got surprised. And they said, "He is mere child." His face was white, his wounded arm lay across his chest, his head rested on his other arm. As you can see the posture of the patient and the lady's reaction towards the patient. See, you can imagine that the boy was in a deep sleep and he was injured. His one arm is injured and it was around his chest, and his head is rested on his another arm. And you can see the ladies how they were shocked to see the patient, as they were shocked that the patient was merely a child. He was so young and he looked innocent too, that it was very difficult for them to accept as a thief. The ladies crept softly to his bed. Miss Rose bent over him. With a gentle hand, she brushed his hair from his forehead. The boy moved and smiled in his sleep as he felt her kindness. "What can this mean?" Mrs. Maylie asked. "This poor child is no thief. He is so young," Rose said, with tears in her eyes. "Let's go into the next room," Dr. Losberne said to the ladies. "You must not wake him up." There Miss Rose continued. "Think how young he is. Perhaps he has never known his mother care. Perhaps he has never had a home. Poor, poor boy. Oh, aunt, don't let them send this boy to prison." "My dear," said the old lady, "do you think that I would harm one hair of his head? I haven't much longer to live. I must help all I can. What can I do to help this boy, Dr. Losberne?" So, as I told you, the two ladies were very shocked to see the boy, and they felt a soft corner for him. The ladies crept softly to his bed. Crept means move slowly and carefully in order to avoid being noticed. And Miss Rose, she bent towards him, and with a gentle hand she brushed his hair from his forehead. The boy felt the love given by Miss Rose, and he smiled in his sleep as he felt someone's kindness. Mrs. Maylie asked, "What can this mean?" As Miss Rose moved towards the boy and she brushed his hair from his forehead, Mrs. Maylie asked Mrs. Rose, "What does it mean?" Miss Rose explained that this boy is not a thief. He is so young and innocent. Dr. Losberne advised the two ladies to went to next room and discuss about this. And there Miss Rose continued with her explanation that the boy is so young that maybe he has never known his mother care. Maybe he has never had a home. He is so poor that we should not punish him by sending him to the prison. And she requested Mrs. Maylie to forgive him and give him a chance. Listening to her, Mrs. Maylie, who felt the same for the boy, replied that, "Do you think am I going to harm his hair? Am I going to harm one hair of his head? One hair of his head hair means that, do you think am I going to harm a little bit to this boy? No, I also felt the same about the boy, that he is so young and innocent that we should not punish him by sending to prison." And then Miss Rose asked Dr. Losberne to advise what we can do to help this boy. Dr. Losberne was also very kind, and he asked the two ladies that, "Let me think," the kind hearted doctor said. For some moments he looked thoughtful, and then he asked, "Can we trust the servants to say nothing about the boy?" "Yes," Mrs. Maylie told him. "They will do as I tell them." "Good," said the doctor. "But first of all, let us hear what the boy has to say when he wakes up. If we find him innocent, we will help him. But if we find that he is guilty, then we must hand over him to the police. Do you agree? So when Miss Rose asked Dr. Losburn to suggest any way so that they can help the boy, Mr. Losburn thought for some moments and then he asked the ladies that can we trust the servants that they will not say anything to the police. Mrs. Maylie replied that yes, we can trust. I will tell them, we will tell them, and they will do as we will advise them to speak in front of the police. So, doctor said, first of all, let's wait for the boy so that he can wake up and explain his situation. And if we find him innocent, we will surely help him. But if we find him guilty, we will send him to the police. So, I would like to end today's session here and continue the next session, rest part of the chapter in the next session. Till then, take care, stay healthy, stay safe, and read the chapter thoroughly up till done in the class. Thank you.